Hey everyone, Travis here on day 2, week 9 of the LCS, joined by ZionSpartan, fresh off of a thorough pummeling of evil geniuses. What was the final score at the end?
I think it was like 13-0. Surprise! I think that's like the first time I've won a game where nobody died in LCS.
What happened between yesterday and today? Because yesterday, things weren't so great for you guys. Today, perfect.
I think we just came in with a plan and we actually executed the plan. It's one thing to actually like say, all right, we need to do this, but then to actually carry it out the way you want to do it, that's what leads to being a really solid team. And I think we did that really well that game.
Any insight into what was, the situation with your temporary slump on Dignitas until, today?
I think we just had a lot of poor decisions and like small mechanical errors and things like that that led up to like big deficits, and we lost the game off that. And this game we really kind of like reeled it in. I haven't really watched I heard bottom lane something bad happened early game. I didn't really see that. We're going to talk about it later. But this game we kind of like realized what we had to do and did it right without making that many mistakes, because you just put yourself in a position where it's like, I don't need to mechanically outplay them. I don't need to be like double if tumbling between two people and like double killing them. I just need to have the right plan and execute it well and then just win.
Well, I just mean as a team as a whole, because you guys were having a bit of a rough time before today over the past couple of weeks, right? Your score wasn't what it had been, and you hadn't shown the dominance that you had shown at the start of the split. So I was curious if you felt there was any one specific thing that was happening on the team. A lot of teams are having morale issues right now. I don't know if it was a situation where you felt like a patch had kind of messed up the situation for you guys. I didn't know if there was anything that caused that previous situation.
I think there was kind of like maybe a little bit of like a dry spell or something where we weren't really playing as well. We weren't really doing things as well. The typical Dignitas, oh, they're going to fall down this split. They're not going to do as well. But honestly, I think that we're going to be the Dignitas team that makes a difference this split. We're not going to be the same Dignitas that everyone's been used to seeing. We're going to want to make it to Worlds, do well at playoffs, and hopefully do well at Worlds and show that North America's a good region too, and that everyone doesn't always have to dismiss them as the weaker region, because I think that they have what it takes to actually beat the Koreans this year if they get better. Obviously, right now, you look at it, it's like, wow, NALCS doesn't really look that good. But honestly, time will tell. I think anything can happen, and I don't think anybody should count NA out like they are, like I feel they are.
Now, you echoed those same words to Jat. You had said, like, we're going to be different than any other Dignitas before. I just was curious if you were trying to, like, stab Jat there, because obviously he was on a Dignitas in the past as well, and so it was kind of funny watching you say that to him, and then his reaction was like, well, how are you going to do that?
Well, it's just kind of like, yeah, Jet, what are you going to do? Like, we're better Dignitas than you ever were. Okay. And we're just trying to remind him of his, like, scumbag Jet days, like, we're going to be a better Dignitas than that, Now, I mean, I think he was actually a really good jungler when he was on Dignitas. It was just, that totally slipped my mind that he was on Dignitas before, and I kind of just shoved it in his face now that I think about it. But I just think we have, like, the right staff that supports us, that when we make mistakes, we can focus on it. And back then when Jat was on Dignitas, they didn't really have that. And talking with Cutie Pie and stuff like that, seems like they had, like, issues that a coach and things like that would solve. And now that we do have that, we'll become a much better team, I feel.
I was really excited for what I thought was going to be a double down, because I expected that you probably hadn't thought about the Jat thing. So I was so excited when you were doubling down on the drama. And then you backed up. It was so rough. Now, yesterday, EG did a pretty good job of trouncing CLG. Today, you guys obviously had such a dominant game against them. Do you think that they were playing on the same level both days and you just came out with a stronger team? Or do you think that maybe they're having some consistency issues?
I think every game is a different game. You can't look at EG versus CLG in our game versus EG and be like, wow, Dignitas played so much better than CLG. It was literally, we had a better plan against EG than CLG had when they played EG. And EG had a better plan against CLG than they had against us, and that really showed in the games. And a lot of people don't realize it's a game basis. Any team can take an individual game, more importantly, and focus on it harder than another team, and that'll really show. Especially in our game, it showed we had a plan and we followed it through.
Very good. I'm just curious if there's anything else going on behind the scenes at Dignitas these days. I mean, obviously, you guys have had a very different split from the past of the old Dignitas that obviously you were not around for, but you've got all these new players that are coming in to help support you guys and all that. Anything interesting happened in the past couple of weeks?
Honestly, the middle of the split kind of does get a little boring. I feel like not that much has been going on, but I think everything is about to ramp up. It's like it's getting towards the end of the last 2 weeks where it's like any team can make it to the top. You see LMQ at the top, but I honestly don't think they're the best team in NA. I think they're one of the best teams, but I think they have as many issues, if not more, than some of the other top teams. And I think it's going to really come down to this last Super Week where it's just like, oh my God, any team can win. And I'm really looking forward to that Super Week. But leading up to it, there hasn't been that much. It's kind of like the exposition in a book. It's like, when is the climax going to happen? Come on, just make it happen already. And everyone's waiting for that Super Week to come where it's like, who's going to be first place? And yeah, I think it's just all been leading up to that. Because if you have every action-packed week, it's not going to be that exciting. But everything's building up for that one Super Week.
To quote ZionSpartan, when is that climax going to come? Now, you only have 6 games left, as you pointed out. A lot of movement can occur during that time. Out of the next 6 games, how many is Dignitas going to win?
You know, these questions are really hard. You're hitting me with the tough question, Travis. I'm going to have to say, out of 6... we will win. How many would you say, Travis, you know?
I mean, I have no deep insight into Dignitas, you know. I know that I'll be doing interviews after most of them, you know, one way or the other. If TSM wins, I won't. But other than that, I'll be doing interviews. So that's the only insight I have. But do you have any guesses?
What do you think, cameraman, marking? How many games do you think Dignitas will win out of their next 6?
I would say at least 4 out of the 6. At least 4.
All right, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna take you up on that. I'm gonna go for 6 out of 6. Dignitas will win the next 6 out of 6, and take that as me being extremely cocky and confident. Because if we lose a single game, feel free to harass me as much as you want on Twitter. We will win every game. Mark my words. If we lose one game, just start flaming me on Twitter. Be like, Zion, you're awful. I knew you'd lose because you were cocky. And you know what? I'm being confident. I think we can do it, Travis.
You have any shout-outs, plugs, anything you want to say here at the end to all the people that will very likely be flaming you?
I want to say thank you to all the fans that believed in Dignitas losing at the end of the split like they did every split. No, I just want to say thank you to my teammates for playing really well today against EG, and to all the fans and everyone and my family who's been supporting us along the way. Thinks that we can do really well at playoffs and Worlds. So hopefully we'll have a really, really good split coming for you guys. Lots of action on the way.
Again, starting to lapse into that sort of sensual thing again. You can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports at ongamers.com, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well.